All right, everybody. Thank you again for joining me. I want to talk about iron. And yes, I have gotten a few of you who've actually reached out to me on social media and said, "What is your deal with iron? You're always talking about iron." And the truth behind that is, I actually see other subjects that I'm really interested in, but there's people talking about them already. I hear about protein, I hear about electrolytes, I hear about insulin and glucose, I hear a ton about thyroid all over the place. Those, as much as they interest me, because a lot about the human body really does interest me, there are some subjects out there that really intrigue me. And so I start going doing my own research, I start making my own notes, I start understanding the body in different ways that maybe they're not talked about. And one of the ones I really want to talk about today is iron. And I have my notes that I've been doing as I've been doing my research over the last little bit. And I want to share with you the importance of iron because I don't think that it's talked about enough. And I don't think that most people realize all that iron does for the body. So I want to dive into it. First and foremost, I think the majority of people understand iron's role in binding to oxygen in the red blood cells so that we can get oxygen all throughout the body, right? So in your red blood cells, you have something called the hemoglobin. He means blood, by the way. Hemoglobin is kind of like the bus, and iron is the seat that your oxygen sits on. It's going to take it around the body. If you have no iron, it means you have no seat, which means oxygen can't get a ride on the bus to go where it needs to go. Okay. So oxygen is the fuel, and without iron, everything starts feeling really tired. You start getting brain fog, muscles burn out, which we're going to talk about in a second, and you feel fatigued. And that's usually the first symptom that people have is, I'm tired all the time, all the time. I mentioned muscles before. We had hemoglobin for the blood. Now we have myoglobin for the muscles. So your muscles have their own oxygen storage in the muscles. And that is what the muscles use to work. So if you think about it, a car uses gasoline. Your muscles use oxygen. It burns oxygen to do what it needs to do. So if you're going to move, lift, walk upstairs, or even recover after a workout, you have to have enough oxygen in the myoglobin. And once again, iron's the one that allows oxygen to attach to it. Now let's talk about the mitochondria. If you've taken any biology course, even in high school or in college, you often hear it called your energy factory. So iron, think about iron being part of the machinery, if you will, inside of the mitochondria, and the energy for your cells runs on that. So if iron's low, your body creates less energy. It's also going to make you feel drained even after sleeping. I have people that'll say, I take 4 or 5 naps a day and I still am tired all the time. Yep. It's also going to slow down metabolism, right? So then we're getting a little bit of weight gain. And oftentimes people will go in because they're tired and they're gaining weight, and their doctor will say, well, it's a thyroid problem. And you've probably heard me talk about that before. That's one of the things that gets me the most. Just because you're a female, you gain weight and you're tired does not mean you have a thyroid problem. But iron is so important for the thyroid. So your thyroid cannot make thyroid hormone without iron. Iron activates the main enzyme called TPO, thyroid peroxidase, that creates T4, and then it helps create T4 into T3. So your storage is T4, your active form is T3. If you're not creating it or even converting T4 to T3, what you're going to feel is weight gain, feeling cold, fatigue, constipation, right? And then we start getting into hair, skin, nails, which we're going to talk about in a second. But a lot of people will go in and they say, hey, I have these issues, and they're immediately told they have a thyroid issue. And the problem is they'll take a TSH, and the TSH is just a little bit up. And so they say, yep, see, it's a thyroid problem. But that's like missing the ingredients for cookies and then saying, well, your problem was your chocolate chips. Well, no, I forgot the flour. I didn't have the ingredients. That's what the problem was. One of the other thing is when we talk about fatigue, I also hear people say, I have anxiety. How the heck does iron have to do with anxiety? Well, it actually has a lot to do with mood, focus, mental clarity, a lot of that. So iron helps your brain make what are called neurotransmitters. And some of the key neurotransmitters are dopamine. If you ever heard dopamine, that helps with our motivation, our drive, our focus. Iron is very important to help make dopamine. It's also really important to help make serotonin. Serotonin is our mood and our emotional balance neurotransmitter. So if we're not having enough of the iron in the body, what we're going to see is some anxiety, irritability, brain fog, trouble focusing, restless leg syndrome. Those are all things that low iron can mimic. So many people think they actually have ADHD or even depression, and when really they have low iron. Iron also affects the immune system. So there's times where people will talk to me and say, oh, I'm always fatigued and my immune system's really whacked out. I must have mono or Epstein-Barr virus or Lyme's, or there's a lot of different things. Well, your immune systems need iron to fight infections. Your neutrophils, your lymphocytes, and your macrophages use iron to generate chemicals, reactive oxygenated species, that kill bacteria. So low iron, you're going to see people get sick way more often. And even people with high iron, you're going to see people with high iron, they get sick all the time too. And that's because high iron and low iron both affect the liver. And they affect the detoxification pathways, specifically the pathway 1. But your liver uses iron-based enzymes to break down the toxins, medications, hormones. So if your iron's low, your detox pathways slow down, but also your hormones. As mentioned, iron's involved. We talked about the thyroid hormone, but stress hormones, sex hormones, they're all going to be affected by iron. And that's why you'll see some individuals who are low in iron, they're going to have irregular periods, heavy periods, decreased libido, even fatigue once again, right? So there's so much to that. Now, another thing I hear all the time is, I'm pretty sure my thyroid's off because I'm fatigued, I'm tired, I'm gaining weight, but then I hear about hair loss, or I've noticed the hair or the skin and the nails have changed too. Iron actually helps your body make collagen, which is going to keep your skin firm, it's going to keep your hair strong, and it's going to keep your nails healthy. So when we see low iron, what we start seeing is shedding of the hair, right? Brittle nails, that's going to be a big part of it. Pale skin, and then even people will notice that they have lower wound healing happening. Let's talk about iron and how it affects your gut. Your gut lining needs iron to repair itself to make enzymes for digestion. So when we start seeing people with low iron, they'll also have constipation. They'll have bloating all the time, no matter what. And just like with the make of the collagen in the immune system, there's a slower healing to the gut lining if we're low in iron. Iron is actually used by one of the main enzymes in your body to make DNA, repair DNA, and also grow new cells. So another factor in there that it actually affects your ability to heal injuries, because it also affects the red blood cells, the new red blood cells too. Now there's different molecules that are a big aspect to how iron is moved throughout the body, how it's stored, and how it's even decided how much you absorb. So transferrin is the one that's going to carry the iron in through the blood. Then you have ferritin stores iron, and then you have something called hepcidin. Hepcidin is a hormone that decides how much iron you absorb. So when we have a higher inflammation within the body, hepcidin will actually go up and your body stops absorbing iron. That's why you see some people who are iron deficient even though they eat plenty of iron-rich foods. You see that all the time. So let's sum it up. Iron helps you, one, carry oxygen. It helps make energy, helps move your muscles, helps activate your thyroid, helps you think clearly, helps you maintain a healthy mood, helps you fight infections, helps you detox the body. It's also going to help build hormones. It's going to help grow hair, skin, and nails. It's going to help heal your gut lining. It's going to help make DNA. So at the end of the day, iron is a small nutrient, but it has massive, massive responsibilities throughout the body. So if your iron is low, you feel it everywhere. So if you have not gotten your serum iron checked and your ferritin checked on every blood panel you do, you could be missing a major component that actually affects your health more than you realize. Thanks again for joining me on Let's Sum It Up. I hope this is helpful for you. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you next time.